මැති සබය
මේ පණවුන් ලබන සෑම බද්දක්ම පාරිභෝගිකයන් විසින් අවසානයේදී ඒවා මිලදී ගන්නා විට ගෙවිය යුතුයි. අප රටේ පාරිභෝගිකයන් අතර ධනවත්, මධ්‍යම පාන්තික සහ දුප්පත් යනුවෙන් කොටස් සිටින අතර ඊට සඳහන් අත්‍යවශ්‍ය පාරිභෝගික භාණ්ඩ වැඩියෙන් පරිභෝජනය කරන්නේ මධ්‍යම පාන්තිකයන් සහ දුප්පතුන්. අත්‍යවශ්‍ය භාණ්ඩවල මිල බදු බරක් සමග වැඩි වන විට ඔවුන්ට සිදුවන්නේ ආදායම සීමිත හේයින් මිලට ගන්නා භාණ්ඩ ප්‍රමාණය අඩු කරන්නයි.
අපේ රටේ ආර්ථිකය දියුණු වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ දියුණුව සමග අද අපේ රටේ විශේෂ වශයෙන් කල්පනා කෙරුවොත් අපිට පුළුවන්කම ලැබිලා තියෙනවා අපේ උද්දමනය අඩු කරගන්න. අයවැය ලේඛනයේ පරතරය අඩු කරගන්න. මේ හේතු නිසා බැංකුවල පොලි අනුපාතය පොලි අඩු කරගන්න. මේ නිසා අද සංවර්ධනයට හොඳ පරිසරයක් පොලි අඩු කිරීම නිසා ආයෝජකයන්ට මුදල් ලබා ගන්න පාර කපලා තියෙනවා. මේ නිසා අපේ ආර්ථිකය ඒ අනුව තවත් ශක්තිමත් කරගෙන යන්න ආයෝජකයා දිරිගැන්වීමට මේ ආර්ථික පසුබිම තුල පුළුවන් වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
දැන් මේ පහර දීම ලිබියාවේ සාමාන්‍ය ජනතාව ගලවා ගැනීමට කරනු ලබන ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී ක්‍රියාවක් හැටියට ඔප්පු කරන්න තමයි මේ බටහිර රටවල් එක්ක අහුවෙලා කතා කරන්නේ. ලිබියාවට කරන මේ පහර දීම සම්පූර්ණ නීති විරෝධී ක්‍රියාවක් හැටියට අපි හෙලා දකිනවා.
ලිබියාව එක ප්‍රධාන රටක්. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ සීනෝ දේශපාලන පක්ෂ මුළු රටේ සාමය, ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය, මානව විමුක්තිය, මානව අභිමානය ගරු කරන හැම පුරවැසියෙක්ම ලෝක ජනතාවම එක්කව වෙලා මේකට විසඳුම ආක්‍රමණය කිරීම නෙවෙයි, මේකට විසඳුම ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය, මේක විසඳුම සමාජ සහායකත්වය කියන එක මේ ආස්වාද ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
දැන් මේ අධිරාජ්‍යවාදීන්ගේ ක්‍රියාදාමයේ දිග ගමනක තවත් එක අවස්ථාව. ලෝකයේ යටත් කර ගැනීමට, ලෝකයේ තමන්ගේ වහල්භාවයට ගැනීමට, ලෝක ජනතාව පාගා ගැනීමට අධිරාජ්‍යවාදී රටවල් එකතු වී දිගින් දිගටම කරගෙන ආපු ආක්‍රමණයන් අතර ලිබියාවට විරුද්ධව කරපු ආක්‍රමණය කෝපයෙන් යුතුව හෙලා දැකීම අපගේ වගකීම බව ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී වාමාංශික පෙරමුණ වශයෙන් අපි කිව යුතුයි.
The ties between Sri Lanka and Libya are very close, and this is the main reason why we feel strongly and deeply for the people of Libya in their present crisis. We have great empathy for them as they deal with some very difficult situations, and it is our devout wish that this distressing situation will come to an end as soon as possible. There are a few specific points which I would like to make with regard to the attitude of the government of Sri Lanka to this situation. The basis of the action currently being taken by the coalition in respect of the Libya Arab Jamahiriya is the resolution 1973 adopted by the Security Council of the United Nations on the 17th of March under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter. But I would like to make the point with emphasis that this is not open-ended authority. The authority conferred by the terms of Resolution 1973 are restricted. They have to be curtailed by reference to objective and scope, and we have to bear in mind at all times the main reason why this resolution was adopted. What was the objective? What was the purpose that was aimed at? The fundamental purpose was the protection of life, of the lives of civilians in Libya. That was the reason for this resolution being adopted by the United Nations Security Council. Anything that goes beyond that purpose and objective is contrary to the spirit and substance of the resolution that was adopted by the Security Council. action is legitimate only so long as it is directly referable to the purpose underlying the resolution. That is the rationale. If there's any attempt by means direct or insidious to travel beyond the scope of that purpose, then such action is necessarily unwarranted and not in keeping with the principles governing the United Nations system. We would also like to emphasize in that connection that therefore the legitimacy, the justifiability of the action that is taken has to be judged by reference to this basic criterion. Is the action making life easier for the people of Libya? Is their condition being alleviated? Is it being improved? Or on the contrary, is it being made worse? Now, it is for this reason, Mr. Deputy Chairman of Committees, that the government of Sri Lanka does not support airstrikes. We think that airstrikes will simply increase the suffering of the people of Libya. Airstrikes, therefore, in the opinion of the government of Sri Lanka, is not a solution to the problem. There are one or two further observations that I would like to make. This has to do with the financial measures which have been mandated by the United Nations Security Council. Now, here again, we have to bear in mind that these financial measures must not be applied in such a manner as to hurt the people of Libya. These measures may negatively impact on trade relationships between the Libyan Arab Jamahiriya and neighboring countries. And the beneficiaries of some of these trade relationships are the people of Libya. So if these financial measures are applied in such a manner as to deprive the people of Libya of resources, if the financial measures are going to exacerbate an already complicated situation, then those financial measures are counterproductive. They will not serve the purpose for which they were intended. I think that too is a consideration that needs to be borne in mind. The other important point to make is that in the midst of all the violence per se is distressing. In the midst of all the violence, we have to bear in mind that a political track has to be found. It is indeed refreshing to note that the Secretary General of the United Nations has appointed a special envoy to deal with the situation on his behalf. Similarly, the African Union has appointed a high-level panel. So there are opportunities, there are avenues that are available for political dialogue and consultation. And it is a matter of profound regret that these diplomatic initiatives which are potentially possible and which ought to be pursued with all vigor have not been pursued with the kind of interest that we would like. So I would like to point out that this is an aspect of the situation that we need to bear in mind, and the political initiatives are crucial at this time. So to sum up the position of the government, Mr. Deputy Chairman of Committees, the position of the government of Sri Lanka is that this problem has to be solved as early as possible. It is a solution that must be peaceful. It is also a solution that must be entirely in accordance with the wishes of the people of Libya. And all measures that are conducive to the accomplishment of those objectives will have the unqualified support of the government of Sri Lanka. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would once again reiterate with all the emphasis at my command that Sri Lanka desires nothing but the best for the people of Libya. We are very clear that the sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity of Libya must be fully respected. It is our fervent hope that stability and peace will be restored in Libya at the earliest possible moment. I thank you, sir.
Meti Sabaya.